Hi teacher, my name is Teresa Gamez. This is assignment number 5, slide 1. In this video, we will talk about the article Teaching Language Skills, the Essentials. Slide 2. It is common to think that students can have the abilities to read for specific information, listen for gist, talk about a specific topic, and write in a formal way in their mother tongue. For this reason, teachers may think their students have the possibility to transfer those abilities to the second language. In this case, teachers could think it is not necessary to teach language skills because students can transfer the the information uh, and the abilities, so they do not need instruction. They need only the opportunity to use their knowledge. Teachers must create only the opportunities to use their knowledge. However, teachers do not focus on the process to acquire the skills. This point of view is founded on the fact that students are literate in their mother tongue. Students have the ability to extract information from the written word. They can hold down and carry on a conversation. They may get information from a TV program. Slide 3. On the other hand, there is another point of view. People reject that point of view. Skills from the mother tongue are not transferred automatically to the second language. Some skills are not transferable because there are some aspects that are unique to a language. Skills and language knowledge are not separable. Slide 4. In the picture, it is possible to see the common classification of skills. Skills are receptive and productive. The receptive skills are reading and listening. The productive skills are speaking and writing. This classification is flawed for two reasons. The first reason is that it proposes that skills are used independently. In the real world, this is not possible. Only it is possible to use independently the reading and writing skills. However, speaking and listening skills are difficult to separate in the real world. For example, in the real world, during a normal conversation, it is necessary to listen and speak in that example. It is impossible to separate those skills. A second reason is that they are not all the skills that people use to communicate. People can use body language and feelings to communicate ideas. Slide 5. In the real world, everything is made with a purpose. When a person does something, there is a reason behind that action. This happens with skills too. For example, when a person listens, that person listens to get information. The same happens with all the skills. Another example is when a person speaks, that person has the purpose to speak. When a person speaks, he or she can share information. The same occurs with reading and writing. A person has different reasons to do something. For that reason, when a teacher teaches skills, he or she needs to find the purpose to learn skills. In this case, teachers need to identify the reasons. In this way, teachers can motivate students to learn skills. Slide 6. Purposes have consequences. This occurs in real situations and skills too. The reasons affect to the way that we communicate with other people. In the article, there are shown different examples of this situation. Slide 7. With listening skills, people listen with different attention. When a person has to get a train, that person listens to specific information. In this example, it is necessary to listen to specific information like hours and dates. That example is different from an example of a conversation. During a conversation, a person has to pay more attention to different details. A person pays more attention because during the conversation it is necessary to give an answer and participate. In the conversation, the person has to understand everything. In the first example, it is not necessary that the person understands everything. Slide 8. The article presents an example of speaking skills. The example is about an informal conversation and a seminar at a university. During a conversation with friends or family, the style could be informal. However, during a seminar, this is different. People have to use formal language. Also, it is important to be careful. When someone speaks, other people judge him or her. For that reason, it is necessary to be careful to use grammatically accurate language. In the first case, this does not occur. In the first case, mistakes might be accepted, but in the second case, this does not happen. Slide 9. The third example is about reading skills. At the same with the other examples, people read with a purpose. People can read carefully a text or only skim information. A person reads carefully when he or she reads instructions. In this example, people must read carefully to get the most important information. It is possible to skim part of the information and read intensively another part. However, sometimes people can skim the information. For example, when a person wants to find information on a notice board, normally people skim the information to identify the information that they looking for. Slide 10. Finally, the last example is about writing skills. The example is about an email responding to a friend's note about holidays. First, in this example, it is possible to use informal language. In the second example, a person has to write a test and needs to verify his or her use of the language. For this purpose, the person has to write, read, rewrite, and reread different times. Slide 11. Therefore, we can begin to consider teaching or practicing a skill or any of its sub-skills. We have to give the matter a little thought. Teachers have to reflect on this point because consequences have consequences. Teachers have to give students answers for the next questions. Mm, the type of test they are dealing with. What happened to stimulate the production of the comprehension of a language? Um, why they are using the skill, which sub-skills are appropriate, what the outcomes of the practice will be, who is involved and what their roles and relationships are, what is in it for them. Slide 12. Students have to know before they are exposed to texts. Before students need to produce a test, they need to know the information must be categorized. In the diagram, it showed three different categories. They are field, tenor, and mode. The field answers questions, for example, the goals, the topic, and the kind of language that has to be used. In the real world, people are aware of the field in which the test is. People can identify the goals and the kind of language that is necessary to use. The tenor involves the person who is speaking or writing to, the relationship, and the kind of language. It means or impersonal, informal, or informal. The same as in the field, people can identify those characteristics. It is easy to identify if it is necessary to use formal or informal language. The last part is the mode. In this part, it is necessary to identify the way. It answers how communication is happening, what sort, planned or unplanned, and private or public. When everything is together is called the context of the situation. People have to know the context of the situation in a real situation. Sometimes this whole information is not obvious. In this case, it's necessary that people need to reflect on this. Slide 13. In this article is proposed a questionnaire. The questionnaire is shown in these slides. Not all these categories will be appropriate for all skills lessons, but most of them will. Teachers cannot assume that students know what they are doing. Students can complete this questionnaire in a short period of time. It is effective in the raising awareness if it is done individually or in the pairs or groups that people will be working in. The second picture shows a complete questionnaire. Using this questionnaire, students can identify the skills that they are need to complete a task. They can aware of their abilities. This is my reference. I hope that you like my presentation. Thank you so much, teacher. Have a good night.